If you keep saying it's faster if I just do it myself, you will never work less. But if you want to make more money without having to work past dinner time most days, here's what you need to know. The hardest part about growing your business isn't getting more clients or building a better product. It's getting other people to do the job you hire them to do. And without you stepping in, fixing everything and turning your week into a 70-hour mess. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get most of your work done by other people without quality dropping, so you can earn more and work a lot less. So here's the plan for this video. First, I'll show you the big mindset mistake that keeps you stuck doing everything yourself. Second, I'll walk you through a simple framework called SAGE that makes your instructions so clear people finally do what you actually expected. And third, I'll show you how to turn one-time delegation into permanent delegation using 3 simple systems so the work stops bouncing back to you. Because let's be honest, if you're doing 6 or 7 figures, you already know that is what you need to fix. Let's start with the core mistake keeping you trapped in 60-hour weeks. I'm sure you already heard this before, but it's true. If your calendar is full of tasks only you can do, you don't own a business, you own a job. As a business owner, your job is to move your business from point A to point B in the most effective way possible. And that doesn't mean days of back-to-back calls, having no time to work on the business and spending your evenings on your laptop fixing your employees' mistakes. What you need to do is start looking at your business like an investor and not like a business owner. Before you think I'm feeding you some generic bullshit, let me give you some examples. As a business owner, you're constantly asking yourself how you can get more done, right? But if you were an investor in your business, you would ask yourself how you could get X, Y, and Z taken care of without you touching anything at all, correct? So, to give you the simple math here, you need to turn 10 hours of doing something into 1 hour of managing someone to do it for you. Last year, I was heavily invested in marketing my company because I had the most experience in my market, so I thought I knew better than everyone else. And it ended up with me writing copy, designing visuals, running ads, tracking metrics, the whole shebang. Plus, every time someone on my team had questions about something, I was the one doing the explaining, and it gave me even more work. It ended up taking 2 to 3 hours per day for me to do all that. And that was business owner me doing all of that. In December, I hired a marketer. I handed over everything to her, and all I have to do now is coach her twice a week in a one-on-one meeting of 30 minutes. So I went from 10 to 15 hours at minimum to 1 hour per week. That's at least a 10-hour win time back per week, or even a full work week if you look at it per month. That's what happens when you look at your business like an investor. You optimize for time and you optimize for returns. If you're anything like me, you're very often feeling like you're an overpaid employee instead of the real owner of your business. I'm sure you try to delegate, but even when you try to delegate, somehow the work ends up back on your to-do list. Let me show you why that happens and how you're going to get rid of it. The real reason you don't delegate is because you either don't trust your team to do it right, or you don't trust yourself or the training you gave them to do it properly. But the good news is that it doesn't matter which one it is, because both are fixable. The first thing you want to look at is if your employees have both the potential and the skills to do what you're asking. If they have the potential but not the skills, it means you should train them. On the other hand, if on top of not having the skills they also lack potential, it means you hired wrong and you need to replace them. I've spent years trying to turn mediocre people into superstars, and at the end of the day I started thinking it was my fault that I wasn't meant to run a business or to grow it past a few $100,000 a year. When in reality I had the wrong people on board and I delegated the wrong way. So let me show you how I do it now. I use a framework I call the SAGE framework, or SAGE. And S stands for situation. It's where you're at now. And then A stands for actions, and that's what needs to happen. G stands for goals, and that's what needs to be done and by when. And then E stands for expertise, and those are the skills they look at. So For example, you want your new inside sales rep to reply to leads so your sales manager gets to spend more time closing deals. But somehow you see that every week there are more and more untouched leads piling up. So the situation here is that he's not replying fast enough. The action he has to take is replying faster. The goal would be to call leads between 24 hours and clear a backlog in 3 days. And then the expertise he needs is knowing the cold calling script by heart. And the thing with this framework is that if you miss any letter, any step, you're getting surprises instead of results. A couple of years ago, I was looking for more interns, so I asked my assistant if she could get me more interns in sales, marketing, and HR. My problem was that I failed to mention what I expected of her, and she ended up writing job ads for those internships instead of contacting schools. A while later, I checked in with her asking if she heard back from any of those schools for the interns, and she looked at me confused and she asked, "What schools? You didn't tell me to contact any schools." Long story short, she thought she did the right thing and I was fucking pissed. I lost almost 2 months waiting on interns who would never come, and I ended up doing it myself instead of letting her fix her own mistake. So use Sage if you want to delegate a single task properly without having to stress about it. This is the cheat code to delegating things forever. You don't need to delegate a task once. You need to build a machine that does it without you every single week. I now run my 7-figure business in around 20 hours a week, and the reason I can do that is because my team takes care of all the operations. And what I use to get there is the time freedom triangle. The time freedom triangle consists of 3 sides. The first side is hiring. If you hire the wrong person, no framework, training, or consultant will come and save you. People are the most important asset in your company, so treat hiring as your #1 priority. The second side is training. Training is setting up your people for success or for failure. If you think your employees are doing a bad job, take a look at how they were trained and by who. Anyway, in short, if you want to train people by doing the work with them until they get it, in the meanwhile, you document the process so they have something to fall back on instead of coming to you with every single question. And lastly, you optimize for them to be 75% as good as you are, because trying to get people to do the things as good as you right off the bat will cause you more misery than letting people do a good job with some room to improve over time. But what I really want to talk to you about is the third side, and it's delegate. If you delegate work correctly, it never comes back. And there isn't a single thing that frees up more time than delegating properly. So what you want to do is give everybody a few KPIs they own on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And then you tie those KPIs to a bonus if they hit those KPIs. And that way, people have an incentive to do the things the right way, and you'll see that when money is on the line, suddenly things become possible and people turn up into creative problem solvers. And the simple truth behind that is that people just care more when they have something to win or to lose. And it has nothing to do with integrity, it's just human nature. And then you let people report back to you at the end of the week or the end of the day. You want to know what they've done, what they're going to do, and what they need help with. You're talking about actions and numbers and not about feelings and maybes, and that's a huge difference. That way you're also always in the loop, you're never micromanaging, and you'll always know what your people need help with or what to train them on. And then you coach them and they become even better. That's a dream, right? For me, the time freedom triangle was massive, but learning how to delegate was really the game changer. I used to get involved in a big portion of my recruiters' procedures because I never trained them correctly, so they constantly came back to me with this, that, and the other thing. It kept me busy and it kept them underperforming. But once I created this system, it just clicked. I used to have trouble getting them to bill our clients 15K a month when now they're regularly doing 30 to 50K a month with record months. surpassing over 100K in billing per month. And just for the record, that's twice my personal record, and I couldn't be more proud of them. The time freedom triangle is what allowed me to take multiple steps back, free my calendar, and enjoy my business like I never did. And that's the difference between being stuck in operations and actually owning a business that runs without you being involved every step of the way. If you run a 6 or 7 figure business yourself and you're also working well over 50 hours per week, your problem is not that you aren't working hard enough. It's that you never set up real delegation systems. I put a full time freedom triangle into a free framework that shows you how to win back 20 to 30 hours a week without cutting profit. If you want it, the link is below this video. And if you want my help installing this in your business over the next 90 days so you can actually run it in 20 to 30 hours a week instead of 60, there's also a link to book a 45-minute, 20-hour founder audit call. Grab the framework, book the call if it makes sense, and stop saying it's faster if I do it myself. That sentence is the most expensive thing in your business.